Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Transport Fever 2. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 40 bucks, though it is 50% off until July 12th, 2021. So if you like what you see here and you're viewing this video early enough, you can possibly pick it up for pretty cheap. So, I am recording this live today. Typically, I do the voiceover after recording some content, but today we're going to do an actual live review, just simply because there's a lot of interface stuff to go over and stuff like that. I won't teach you how to play, but I want to show you a lot of stuff. So, here's a quick look at the main menu. Settings, you've got, again, various things. I'm just going to say pause here if you want to see this in greater detail. Audio tab here, controls, interface, and advanced. So lots of stuff there, plenty of ways to customize. There's also Steam Workshop, should you want to mess around with that. There is a campaign and a free game option, as well as a map editor. I'll just quickly touch on the free game, and this is my preferred play style, honestly. There's temperate, dry, and tropical zones, and then you can adjust the hilliness, which is just how many hills do you want in your environment. Water and forest, so you can adjust these sliders here. And then you can adjust your map size, small, medium, large, very large. Just be warned that putting it on like very large will slow down your game quite a bit, assuming that your computer has trouble handling things. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And then you can see like a number of cities and industries, low, medium, high, very high, and so on. So you can customize this to some degree. Once you actually choose the map that you want, you click on the next button. And now you can choose the type of vehicles that you're going to see, Europe, USA, or Asia. There's also some custom settings here should you want to like customize that a bit. You can also choose your start year, anywhere from 1850 to 2000 as your start year. This will affect your strategies in some ways. In 1850, for example, no automobiles, right? So you're going to have horse and carriage buggies hauling everything around. You may need 10 of those things per line because they only hold 4 cargo per carriage or whatever. But as you get to, say, 2000, you're going to unlock buses and trains and airplanes and other things that will get things around a lot more easily. There's also difficulty, easy, medium, and hard. And then once you're happy with everything, you can hit start and start your game. Okay, so here we are in game. What is Transport Fever 2? Well, similar to the Railroad Tycoon series, you will be given a nice big map, okay? And it's your job to create lines to transport both passengers and cargo from one place to another. And successfully doing so will allow you to grow your starting cities to, well, greater heights. You'll see buildings being constructed. You'll see things like residential, commercial, and industrial, and I use those terms loosely. There's an overlay that I can click on somewhere that allows me to see all the different kind of zones. Residential, commercial, industrial. Okay, so I was right. And similar to SimCity, green is residential, blue is commercial, and yellow is industrial. And again, your cities will expand in size as you transport things to it that it wants. If you click on an actual city like I did here, Burbank, you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen what it's asking for. You can see what kind of destinations are hooked up to it, supply, quality, that kind of thing. So by satisfying these needs, you'll grow these cities. And that's basically what you're doing. That's the long-term goal anyway. Again, the campaign is a bit more scripted that way. But in this free game, you're free to tackle this however you like. If you see a viable connection, then go after it. Now, this is a game that I already started and been playing for, I don't know, the majority of the morning. So I just want to quickly go over the interface and show you what's what. You've got various map layers in the upper left-hand corner that you can select. For example, you'll need to know, is it viable to send boats down this waterway because bridges might be interfering with it. Luckily, the bridges in place allow small ships but not large ships to travel through them. So as you're building bridges, just be wary of that. Again, land use layer, I've already shown you that. Track speed limits layer, and so on. So long story short, there's a bunch of layers up here. Bottom left-hand corner is your accounting screen, so to speak. You can see how much money you're making in total. You can see charts if you want to see charts. I like charts. There's line graphs there, balance, tracks, towns, and so on. Then you've got a headquarters view where you can see all of your assets, inventory, value, and all that jazz. So if you like balance sheets, this is the place for you. Bottom of the screen is where you can see your build menu and other information. Your line manager is very important. This is where you actually create lines. So first you have to create the station, and then once you build the stations between 2 points, you'll be able to connect lines to them by just adding a new line. And maybe I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. But as you can see, I've got colored lines all over the place, transporting things from one place to another. For example, let's see if I can track this purple one back to where it is. Okay, so I start with this farm over here, right? I put a station down, and you can see that there's a station set up there, and there's a purple line connected to it. And the next destination was set to this place, which turns this grain into bread. And then, again, trucks will stop at this station here, pick it up, will drop off and pick up, and then deliver it to its next location. Again, as you're creating the line, you're going to be setting the next destination, the next destination, and so on until everything loops in on itself. So in general, that's what a line is all about. Just creating, connecting point A to point B to point C and so on. You have to be wary, however, that not all vehicles will support certain cargo. So you kind of have to look at the build list and go, okay, what kind of vehicle should I be building? I can click on this road depot, for example. And if I click on buy vehicles, you can filter by any cargo type. So if you're looking for iron ore, for example, these are the vehicles that support that. Some will support all cargo types here. Others, like this dump truck, support, it looks like coal, iron ore, grain, and stone. So you just have to be wary that, when you're buying trucks, what's their capacity, what's their cargo type, what's their loading speed, emissions, all that jazz. So there's a lot to consider here when you're purchasing vehicles and the like. It's up to you on how you want to handle it. You can see I've got like a little airport. There's 4 main modes of transportation in this game. You've got regular road, you've got rails, you've got boats, and you've got airplanes. When it comes to road, you've got buses and trucks primarily. Again, we're talking 2000 here. In olden days, it was carriage, buggies, and the like. But you'll be able to create streets, which is nice. So if you want to create various types of streets, you can do that just by dragging and dropping. You can also adjust the height by clicking on this little arrow here and then hitting up or down. Just be wary that it does get more expensive as you do that. If you see this little icon pop up, it allows you to adjust the bridge type, which again affects whether or not a boat can, navigate under it. So you'll be able to build various roads there. Buildings, again, there's the stations. There's tram stations, bus stops, and the like. So various sizes. There's depots where you can buy vehicles, street constructions like cloverleaf intersections, roundabouts, and so on, waypoints, and various tools. Okay. Same thing goes with rail and, again, boats. When it comes to boats, the items are a bit more, I don't know, there's less of them to choose from. I have a boat, here we go. So as you can see, I sort of put down one of these passenger harbors, and let's go ahead and exit out of there. I connected a road to it. So as long as you build a road close enough to one of these airports or seaports, it'll connect just fine. And typically what I like to do is I like to put a little bus station nearby and then connect that bus station to a town nearby so that you can connect to it. There's a certain radius that these buildings can reach. If I click on a bus station, for example, everything in white is its coverage. Notice it doesn't cover this left side of the city. So I've got this bus station over here covering this side of the city. So I have got four bus stations or so in Rockford, and then one here, and it's all connected. So people basically hop on that bus. They, if they choose to, they can arrive here, and then they can wait at this seaport. And there's 2 people waiting right now to ride the boat all the way up the river here to its other destination, which is up here. And again, if I go to my line manager, you'll see that there's a red line or a pink line, whatever that is. And I've assigned one ship to it, but you can also assign more than one vehicle to a line if you want to. So, so there's 4 different modes of transportation. There's also terrain tools. You'll be able to raise land, lower land. You can paint. There's a paint tool down here for various terrain. Assets like trees and rocks and the like. You can also construct rail or just, again, roads. You have to be mindful, however, that whenever you construct roads, you have to go with the if you drag across large distances, the game will just draw a straight line from and to, regardless of what's in between. That might make things more expensive. So, for example, if I create a street from here to here, it's going to create a very expensive tunnel, which is going to go under this mountain here. You'll know that there's a little tunnel icon, and it's going to cost me $1.3 million to do that. Whereas if I take it a little bit at a time, this segment, and then hit yes, and then create the next segment, I have the option to like go with the terrain, which may be cheaper in some circumstances. So whenever you're creating roads and railroads, just my advice is go slow, create very short segments. If you have, if you have the money, just draw a straight line, whatever. But typically, it's more cost effective to draw shorter segments and go with the terrain rather than creating, constructions to go around it via bridges and tunnels and the like. So yeah, that in a nutshell is Transport Fever Tycoon. Again, this was not a full-blown tutorial, but I wanted to show you more of the interface. Bottom right-hand corner, there's line statistics that you can click on and see where you're making money, where you're not making money, and so on. For example, if you see that your railway here is not making money, then you may want to either delete it or find some way to make it more, just better. I've got a couple of lines here that are actually bleeding me a little bit. I mean, I've got this line is like 1.5 million, more than makes up for it. So you can quickly see here what's working, what's not, which is nice. What else do I got down here? Bottom right-hand corner, vehicle statistics. So you can see what particular vehicles are making money, what their condition is, and so on. You can set vehicle maintenance. You can replace them over time. That's really cool. Station statistics, same way. How many passengers are waiting at these various stations that you've got set up. You've got town statistics. How are you supplying them with what they want? Again, you can quickly see Buffalo is demanding, looks like, tools and gears of some kind. I don't have anything being transported to them right now, so they're a little stagnant. The whole process of, again, creating goods, pretty nice. You click on a factory or a farm, and you can see production, shipment, transport. So you need to create the entire line in order for it to be effective. And you can see there's a level meter here as all of these things are met, meaning you've got, a complete chain, farm to factory to town. If you've got all of that set up appropriately and these bars are filling up, all of them, then this level will go up. And they will be more productive over time, which is nice. There's more that I didn't get to. There's a time speeder down here and more, but this is more of a general review. I will say this game was actually just patched the other day to make things a bit more user-friendly, meaning I can go to the line manager here and actually rename lines straight from here. Before I couldn't do that. So if you don't like line 1, line 2, line 3, you can name it whatever you want. And I love that, if I hover over these, you can see that they're highlighted. So line 15, for example, I've got it highlighted, and now it's highlighting on my screen telling me, yes, that's the line that you're looking at. And I can go, okay, what is this? This is just a quick, bus route for airport or whatever. I don't know what it is, honest. No, it's for my railway. So bus route for railway. Again, I don't have to name it that. I could name it anything I want. But now I've got it named. That's a quick patch that they've added to the game to make it better. Do I like this game? Yes. I like how strategic it can be. And how casual it can be all at the same time. It's not that difficult to make money once you get a successful line or two set up. I think the initial hurdle is figuring out what you need to get it done and navigating the interface to get it done. But once you do figure out the interface and learn to navigate the various windows, it doesn't actually become so bad. Clicking on a line, for example, overview of the line, finances, charts, manage vehicles, manage line. There's a lot of different buttons to click on in this game, and it's just a matter of getting used to that. But once you get over that learning hurdle and that learning curve, this game is actually quite fun. You can just sit back for a little bit and just watch traffic as, people walk around and drive around, do various things. And again, if you're playing on the earlier years, you can watch time grow, from, horse and buggy to actual automobiles and so on. And you can actually, and, influence how the town is built. Like, I created roads to make segments cheaper so that, my vehicles wouldn't have to drive as far and so on. So yeah, I do recommend Train Fever, especially that it's 50% off. But again, you're going to have to enjoy games like Railroad Tycoon to really get the most out of this game. How creative do you want to be? Do you want to create a casual transportation empire, and watch towns grow? Or are you the kind of person that had maybe, or still have maybe, model train sets and just watch, as you add to it, just add your own little personality to it? Are you that kind of player? Do you enjoy light business simulators with an emphasis on, managing a city and watching it grow? Via or a la Railroad Tycoon 3 or Sid Meier's Railroads or etc. If you're that kind of person, then yes, I would recommend this one. Again, it's just there's a little bit of a learning curve, but for the most part, it's quite casual and quite good. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.